This is another episode of The Right Life Podcast, your number one source for everything bariatric surgery, from pre-op to post-op. Registered dietitian Alex Conception gives you real, raw tips and motivation through your journey. This is The Right Life Podcast.
Hello everyone, welcome back. Today I want to talk to you about the gastric sleeve and its effects on hunger. If you've done even a small amount of research, I'm sure you've come across the very remarkable benefit that the gastric sleeve will take away your hunger. I've had countless consults where this benefit alone is the reason they want the surgery. So let's talk about it. What actually goes on here? With the gastric sleeve, there are two principal mechanisms of action when it comes to weight loss. You have a physical and a hormonal adaptation. Okay, so first, the physical, the stomach is being reduced in size. So obviously you are being physically restricted from eating more food. I'd like to add, although invasive, the gastric sleeve procedure is still less invasive and less morbid compared to some other bariatric procedures like the Roux-en-Y gastric bypass. And this is due to its technical simplicity and its limited alteration of the normal anatomy, because with the bypass, you are literally taking out a portion of your GI tract. So as opposed to just making the stomach smaller. But anyhow, I digress. We will talk about the differences on another episode. So, on to the hormonal side. There are two hormones that regulate your eating habits, okay? And that is leptin and ghrelin. Leptin is your satiety hormone. It's produced by fat cells, and basically leptin signals your brain that you are full. But here's what's crazy. With excess fat and obesity, you can develop a leptin resistance. Obviously, with higher fat stores, you are producing more leptin, and you can put your body in a state where your brain no longer responds to it. This actually won't be reversed until you actually lose weight, but I thought I'd mention it because it plays a huge role and may put some eating behaviors into perspective. Okay, so the second is ghrelin. Now, this is the hunger hormone, the hangry hormone, the hormone that knocks on your brain to tell you to go to the drive-thru. Now, ghrelin is directly affected by the gastric sleeve procedure. So, the main function of ghrelin is to stimulate appetite, and the majority of ghrelin is secreted in the stomach, specifically the fundus of the stomach. As the stomach empties, the brain will signal secretion of ghrelin. So I mentioned the fundus of the stomach specifically because the gastric sleeve procedure removes the gastric fundus, significantly decreasing the levels of ghrelin, and promotes weight loss by inducing satiety or fullness during the fasted or very low caloric state. So yes, the hunger hormone is gone, but I'm sure you've toured the forums, read somewhere, or even know someone that would tell you different, that will tell you that the hunger was unchanged, or the hunger may even be worse than it was before. Okay, so let's talk about why you can still feel hunger. First off, I want to let you know, in our experience, in our practice, the majority of patients virtually have no hunger. In many cases, not even an appetite, to where they would have to schedule eating because obviously it's necessary. But there is a small population where hunger seems to increase. Honestly, I don't know if there are peer-reviewed studies on this to give you actual numbers or percentages, but in my experience, among the hundreds of patients I've consulted, I've had less than 10 complain of extreme hunger after surgery, and we're talking in the first couple months. This is where head hunger comes in. Although the hunger hormone is gone, it cannot take away a lifetime of experiences with food. I'm going to repeat that. Although the hunger hormone is gone, it cannot take away a lifetime of experiences with food. We're talking celebrations, holidays, birthdays, all positive associations with food. Our brain is so strong that we can manifest a fake hunger, one that can be indistinguishable from what you feel before the surgery or what you feel today. The best way I can explain this is comparing it to an amputee. Much like an amputee, they can feel pain, or some can feel pain in a limb that no longer exists. Make sense? And that's because it's been conditioned in the brain your entire life prior to this. But if you are experiencing hunger, it's easier to turn off if you recognize a few things. Okay, recognize that you are bored. Recognize that you are having a nostalgic moment. Or recognize that what you're doing right now in this moment of hunger is routine. Now, routines are huge. Maybe you typically stop at a certain restaurant on the way home from work, drinks after work on Fridays. Maybe Sunday is fun day and you normally go out to brunch with the girls or family get-togethers, or maybe it's game day. And what goes along with game day is pizza, beer, and wings. So the game will still be on, but you just have to change the routine. And if you follow the rules, if you're able to maintain those experiences while choosing the right food, you'll be successful. When it comes to experiences, for the most part, it's the good times, it's the laughs, it's the people. But 99% of those experiences, there's also food involved. Most notably, Thanksgiving and Christmas. I do want you to remember that if you are having extreme hunger, especially in the first couple months, it's not real. It's in your head. You are physically incapable of having this type of hunger pain. You are physically restricted and you no longer have the hunger hormone. So there's only one thing left to blame, and that is head hunger. There's nothing the doctor can prescribe for this. They've already done everything. And the only thing that we can recommend is counseling. Now, don't take that as an offense. There may be a legitimate relationship with food scenario that you need to address and talk about. So moving forward, just be mindful of it. That pretty much covers the gist of the hunger hormone, head hunger, and what your body goes through physically and emotionally post-op. But yeah, that's pretty much it. I will talk to you guys in the next. Peace.
This was another episode of The Right Life Podcast. For more motivation and future episodes with Alex, make sure to subscribe so you don't miss out on any life-changing moments.